remember waking up in the ICU. My doctor essentially said, you're paraplegic. They picked me up with a crane, sat me on a regular bench, and it was like sitting on 1,000 water balloons. It took 4 people to hold me up, and I was still falling over. That was the day I actually really understood that I was a paraplegic and nothing else worked.
There you go. Good.
You know that paraplegics wake up in just sheer frickin' pain after 4.5 years. I mean, I'd wake up and go, oh, that's right, I'm paralyzed. Every morning, it's like remember that movie Groundhog Day? It's like freaking Groundhog Day every day.
For a neurosurgeon or a spine surgeon, the most frustrating thing about spinal cord injury is you feel like you can't do anything. It's the worst feeling in the world because you know they're never going to be able to walk, or the chances of them having any meaningful recovery with each month, it becomes less and less. With a patient like Eric, if we understood more about the anatomy, we could potentially have more treatment options for them.
Unfortunately, in this day and age, when a patient comes in with spinal cord injury, the focus is to alleviate the pain of the patient and to stabilize the bony architecture, the spine around the spinal cord injury. The spinal cord itself is not targeted as something that needs to be healed by the physician because currently there are not mechanisms for doing that.
To really learn how much they didn't know, and all these people are going around in wheelchairs. I mean, it's kind of disgusting. It's really disgusting.
As a neurosurgeon, it's sort of your duty to know the anatomy and understand everything we can about the spine and the spinal nerves. And the fact is that until now, there's been relatively little interest in trying to understand some of the complexities of the spinal cord. We could think about the future, we could think about where navigation is going, robotics. We could have great imaging, but not understand the gross anatomy, then it won't help us.
In order to develop mechanisms to deal with the actual repair of the spinal cord after injury, we have to have a bottom line resource. And that resource is, in our opinion, the 3-dimensional atlas of the human spinal cord.
The Spinal Cord Project is going to give us the 3-dimensional structure of the spinal cord and deep insights into which cells are key in executing which functions. I can imagine in the future when we could use stem cell therapy to replace those defective spinal cord cells, but we couldn't do that unless we knew their location and the structure of those cells.
What we hope to achieve is to give surgeons and researchers the GPS of the spinal cord. This process of taking a 50-centimeter length spinal cord, taking 500 slices through that spinal cord, subjecting each of those slices to 20 different stains in about 25 different spinal cord specimens, and this results in over 250,000 specimens to analyze and then put back together into a 3-dimensional atlas.
I think the Seattle Science Foundation is in an enormously unique position. They have Dr. Tubbs as the absolute pioneer in this field. And he's been a pioneer in every aspect of anatomy throughout his career.
I mean, if we can give doctors more information to essentially figure out what's going on with spinal cords better, I mean, just imagine what they could do.